This is a podcast about our lived experience, which unfortunately includes infant death and subsequent mental health struggles. Please take good care of yourself and only listen if this content feels safe for you right now. We'll still be here when you're ready.
Hi, I'm Judith.
And I'm Alina. We are internet friends turned real-life friends who both experienced the tragic loss of our sons to sudden infant death syndrome in winter of 2021.
In the year after Aiden died, my husband and I both became unemployed. My parents divorced, and we had to move 5 times for various reasons.
And as for me, just a few weeks before my son Quinn died, my then husband had come out to me as a transgender woman and were subsequently divorcing.
It's been a lot.
It's been a lot.
But as long as we're living, we will love our sons deeply and work to make sure that we live a life that makes them proud.
Welcome to As Long As I'm Living podcast.
We're so glad you're here.
Hi, everybody. Alina here.
Judith here. I think Alina's really nervous because she's about to do something she's never done before in her entire life.
It's true.
But I've done it many times, so I think we can figure this out together. We have a request.
It's a pretty simple request, all things considered, but it does feel like a big deal, and I feel awkward about it. Do you feel awkward?
No, I don't feel awkward about it.
Okay, all right. Let's just get into it.
The difference between me and you is that you'd be afraid to ask directions, and I am not afraid to ask a stranger for directions. So I feel like this is like the equivalent. This is a huge preamble just to say that Alina and I have a request. It's an request that we feel uncomfortable even turning to other people to ask for. But I think in general, we look at our community as partners. We think of you as our partners in making this podcast. And so we need to ask for support. We need some help.
Yes. So we love making this podcast. Like love, 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 love it. It does not feel like a chore. We have such a fun time with it. We do everything ourselves. We do not have an executive assistant. We do not have a podcast producer. We do not have a social media manager. It is just us. I'm sure that is clear by the quality sometimes. Oh, are you okay?
He's like, dying. You're doing a great job. Keep going.
So we are here.
Okay, I'll just do it. You're so weird about it. You're the most awkward person I've ever met. Listen, we need your help. You can help us in 3 ways. First, join us on Instagram. If you haven't joined us already, we want to hear from you. We want to see you. Join us on Instagram. Be a part of our community on the daily, not just on Mondays. Number 2, leave a review. I know. Everyone's always asking you to leave a review, but we want to ask you to leave a review too. And that's because when you give us a review, more people are invited to listen to the podcast. We get promoted on Spotify. I don't understand how it works in the back end. Beep, bop, beep, bop, beep, bop, bop. That's the computer making its noises. Mark Zuckerberg doing his thing. I don't understand it, but when people leave reviews, more people get to see our podcast.
You can leave a review anywhere you listen. So that would be Spotify, that would be Apple Podcasts, that's Google Podcasts, that's wherever you want.
Wherever you want, leave a review and give us a rating. Hopefully a good one. And then the last thing is that we want to ask for your support. We do everything like Alina said, and it costs money. It's not a ton of money, but it's enough money that we feel like we need to ask for some help because we want you to be a part of making this with us. And we know that we can make this podcast even better. We can make the audio better. We can make the recordings better. We can do so much more on our Instagram, but we need some help and we need your partnership. So if you can make a donation, $1, $2, $5, $20, €1. We have some Europeans. €2. Whatever amount of euros that you can euro.
Pounds? We have
pounds.
some.
Pound us.
What money do they use in Australia?
The Australian dollar.
Canadian francs?
What? No, I think it's loonies and toonies.
That's Canadian dollars. We're just embarrassing ourselves. Use whatever currency.
We have a goal of raising $500. If we can raise $500, we can invest in better platform, which will save Alina a lot of time doing editing and making social media posts. And it can really help us improve our As Long As I'm Living podcast and community. So we're asking for your help, whatever you can do. You can go online. It is www.buymeacoffee.com/ALAIL podcast. So www.buymeacoffee and then the initials of As Long As I'm Living. The first letter of each word. So ALAIL podcast. www.buymeacoffee.com/ALAIL podcast. And that's where you can make your donation.
We'll have a link in the description of this episode. So you can find it there. And we so appreciate it. Please know if you can't donate, we are not offended in any way, shape, or form. You do not have to feel obligated, but this is just a way for you guys to be included in the podcast. And honestly, the easier it is for us to make it, the longer we'll want to keep doing it, and the longer it will keep feeling like a joy to do. So we want that because we like doing it for now. So is that it? Did we do it?
You did a good job. To all of our wonderful new friends, we want to hear from you. Email us at aslongasimlivingpodcast@gmail.com and follow us on Instagram at aslongasimlivingpodcast. We'll get back to you as soon as our grieving brains allow.
Yay!